Hey all, welcome in. It's Taco here, coming at you with another deck tech. I know it's been a while since my last video, but this is something I've been working on, and I'm currently playing this in real life, and having a lot of fun with it. It's been a really good deck, solid win rate, and it's pretty competitive. So, let's have a look-see here. This is basically a zombie deck. I'm running it blue-black. Personally, I like this. I've been trying to run Amalgam for months. Just going over various ideas. I tried running originally I was running green-black, and I didn't like the synergy of the deck. It didn't seem to consistent, and wasn't working well for me. So then I essentially started running red-black, and while the deck was good, I found it kind of boring, honestly. I didn't have a lot of fun playing it, and I don't know, I can't play a deck if I don't really get into it. So I eventually decided that I was going to settle on blue-black, and now I thought about red-blue zombies. I like it. I think it's got a lot of potential. And I think with the emerge, kind of makes it good and a little different. But my main thing is I'd like to be able to play the prize amalgams. I don't want to have to discard them all the time. I like the fact that in blue-black I'm able to use them as a creature if I don't find a way to, consistently discard them and bring them out of my discard pile. So I ended up moving to that. So let's have a start here. Choked Estuaries, we have 4 of. Drawn Your Temple, I run as a 1 of. I like to be able to, if I have to discard some cards, I like this as an option. Allows me to bring it back later. Sometimes I get a little bit of mana acceleration out of it, but overall it's just kind of a 1 of to have just in case I come across that issue. I got 1 Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Essentially, just another form of being able to discard. I have had a couple of games where this is useful, and I like to have it in there just in case. It gives me that little extra draw and discard. We got 2 islands, 4 sunken hollows, and then I believe 10 swamps. Yeah. And that makes up our land base, 22 lands. I haven't really had any land issues yet. So it's been going pretty well for the most part. Even when I get a little shorted on land, the deck seems to be consistent enough to make up for it and can be pretty explosive when it needs to be. 1-drops, Crypt Breaker. Obviously, huge card in black zombies. The ability to discard to create zombies is great, and on top of it you can use it to draw some cards when needed, so that's a 4 of. Sinister Concoction, I'm running this as a 1 of. Right now I've been really liking it. Every time I see it I'm happy I saw it, but it's not something I want to see it every day, every game all the time, which is why I'm not playing more than 1. I do like this in the Delirium match. It gives me an extra answer for things like Emrakul. And I've used this to get a quick discard off, maybe some madness out for the Pariah or other such things. So this card's been pretty solid. Actually, when I initially saw it, I wasn't positive whether it was a good card and kind of going back and forth on it. But since I've been playing it, I've actually kind of grown on me. Become pretty standard. Altar's Reap. This is something I think unique to me and the way I play. Personally, I really like this card. Honestly, it's because the deck recurs its creatures from the graveyard so much or produces tokens. This really is consistently good as a source of card draw. I also like it as a quick answer to things like Deck and Stone and other such, targeted creature effects, things that'll exile, and stuff that really hurts the deck. Altar's Reap allows me to make them lose the target, fizzle the spell, and get 2 cards out of it, which I really like. Compelling Deterrence is a 1-of. I like it as it's a solid answer to some non-creature-based cards. Allows me to get my opponent to discard a card if they're, unlucky enough to not have any cards in their hand. It basically just becomes a non-land permanent destruction. And it has saved me quite a few times. It's another card that I don't like having more than 1 of, because a lot of times you're just forcing a card back to their hand and probably buying yourself a little bit of time, but it's not really an answer. So then we got Grasp of Darkness, obviously one of the best black creature control spells in current standard. 2 black for -4/-4 at instant speed. What's not to love? It's obviously a 4-of here. We have Heap Scrounger. Multiple reasons for this guy. Obviously, he comes back out of the graveyard and can bring back the amalgams. But I also like it because he really synergizes with the Scourge and allows them to recycle themselves. It's kind of like a revolving machine. And I've had games where that becomes a thing, and I really, really like it. So running these as a 4-of. Smugglers Chopper, obviously an auto include in most decks in standard right now. And I'm running this as a 3-of because you only really need to get 1 copter out, and the deck just works. You don't really... I haven't had a situation where I wanted to have multiple coppers on the board. So a lot of times when I've had one in my hand, I'll end up just discarding it to the copter's ability if I don't have anything better to discard. So this I decided to run as a 3-of. It's been working really well for me. Now it comes to the Eternal Scourge. This is something I noticed a friend of mine playing. He said he noticed a friend of his playing it, so it kind of, it's caught on a little bit. Being able to cast this guy from exile is really great with a Heap Scrounger. You can exile this card from the graveyard to put your Scrap Heap back into play, and then be able to play this guy from your exile. He's really great against some of the cards out there, like Deck and Stone, the Spell Queller and Stasis Snares, things like that are played in standard right now, because he can just, he basically just gets around the cards by being able to be played anyways, which is pretty sweet. So running him as a 4-of. Prized Amalgam, obviously one of the best cards in the deck, and really a key to your explosiveness. Getting these guys into your graveyard, coming out, it's pretty much a key to all the zombie decks. So this is obviously a 4-of. Haunted Dead, another key card to the explosiveness of zombies right now. The ability to get basically 3 power and 3 toughness in 2 creatures by simply paying 2 and discarding 2 cards at instant speed. Very, very strong, especially in the format right now with the vehicles and other such things that have a kind of a wide weenie creature base, kind of the small creatures. He becomes really powerful in or sort of evening the tide. So he's a 4-of include. There it is. Voldarian Pariah. Obviously huge in zombies as well. It's kind of it's a 4-of in some of the decks. I haven't played it as a 4-of yet. It's got potential, but most of the time this is a 3-of. It seems like I see it consistently when I need it, and tends to come out pretty well. It's done a lot of work. It's won me several games. Definitely worthy at madness cost, and being able to make your opponent sacrifice 3 creatures is definitely a huge benefit. So we're running 3-of for that. And then Elder Deep Fiend. very good. Not necessarily a must include in the deck, but I do like it. Gives me a little bit more punch in the deck and allows me to save a creature when I need to, or simply just get more on the board and being able to recur all the zombies and everything. I really like the ability to be able to flash this in at emergence. So I'm running this as a 2-of. It's been pretty good so far. And that's our 60 in the main. So negates in the side. Let's start with the sideboard here. Negates I run it as a 4-of. I think it's must have in the control matchup. Definitely going to need something to ensure that you counter the right stuff when you need to counter it and get your creatures out, and it's been doing pretty well for me in order to get through that last bit. Collective Brutality. A lot of decks are putting this in the main now, and I understand that. It's a really solid card. It's great against all the matchups. It's good against the control, being able to get rid of the instants and sorceries. It's good against the aggro, giving the -2/-2. And on top of that, you can get a 4-point life swing out of it, which is pretty good. But I couldn't really find space to keep this in the main with the way this build is. So I've been putting it in the side, and I mainly will bring it in against those matchups. I'll usually find a space for it. Against the control matchups, I can remove some of the creature removal and add in the brutalities. And against the aggro matchups, I usually cut down on some of my larger creature base, like the deep fiends and compellings and stuff like that, and I can bring that in against that if I feel like I need more creature control, especially against vehicles. A -2/-2 is actually pretty powerful. So that's a 3-of on the side. To the slaughter, I'm running as a 1-of. Kind of comes in against the control matchups, gives me a little extra something against planeswalkers, things like that, or against the, most of the control decks are only playing a few creatures here and there. So I kind of keep it in the sideboard right now. It's not a full set in stone kind of thing. Sideboards are always going to be varying. It really comes down to your meta. So right now, playing this one, I like it. Pick the Brain's kind of a new ad for me. I feel on top of the Collective Defiances, I'm going to try, especially against the control aspects or the combo decks. I'm going to try to get these in. I can get Delirium relatively easily. So I think that, especially against the combo decks and the control decks, I can really kind of pick apart their hand or pick apart the combo out of the deck using this. I was running Lost Legacy for a while in some of my decks, and while it's great and can get rid of key aspects of the combos, the current combo cards are mostly artifacts, and that card's unable to get them. So Pick the Brain becomes a little bit more, provided you can catch it in their hand. With Collective Brutalities, you can essentially kind of set that up a little bit so you can see what's in their hand and then pick it apart. So this card's a 2-of. I do like it. Seems to be pretty good, but hasn't really been play tested yet. Colitas, obviously very strong still, especially in the aggro matches. It's good to get the life point swings, and then if in the mirror match, it's very good, and against the vehicles, I generally will bring it in because those are quick decks. And being able to get the extra zombies out of killing their creatures, as well as having the life swing on that has really made a huge difference in those games. And with the mirror match, obviously the creatures get exiled instead of going to the graveyard, so that becomes pretty important. Biting Rain is essentially, this is a placeholder. I'm waiting for the new set. They'll be coming out with the new 4-mana -3/3 everything, and play a 3-cost card. That's going to be really huge in the new standard. I feel like black is going to make a huge comeback, because I don't think black is played as much as it used to be right now because it's really missing a good mass removal, and I think that will make a huge difference. But right now, Biting Rain actually is pretty strong in this deck. I like the fact that it has Madness for 3, so it can be played at instant speed. And the -2/-2 across the board will really get the advantage in some of the aggro matches. Really, the main thing is vehicles. Vehicles is the main thing I seem to be it comes down to who draws better. And a lot of times with this current color base, not having the mass removal has really hurt me because those decks can go wide and in their creature base, and it's become a point where I don't have enough removal to keep up. So Biting Rain is going to be my answer to that. I haven't really play tested it yet. I was running a few different things. I've tried a few different things. But Biting Rain seems to be a good play in this set. The 4-mana sorcery, -2/-2 is mediocre. But being able to Madness it to 3, I think is going to be really beneficial for me. And being at a -2/-2, it'll get around, also get around things like the Selfless Spirit and other such, things that keep your opponent's creatures from being destroyed. So, well, that's good. I don't know how good it is against Blue-White Flash. A lot of Blue-White Flash has a lot of, and Blue-White aggro is now a thing. There's a lot of 3 toughness stuff in there, so I don't think it's as good there. I think it's mainly going to be going in against the vehicles, but I do feel that it has a lot of potential, at least as a placeholder. I think when the new set comes out, this deck's going to get a boost and become a much more played deck. So we'll see how that goes. Until then, that is my 75, and I have been doing well with this deck. It's been placing in some events that I've been playing in, so I do feel that the deck has a lot of potential that's there, and I think I'd love to hear what people think on it and how people end up playing it. That's different from mine. So with that said, there it is. Don't forget to subscribe, and you can check the links in the description to see the most up-to-date deck list and check out some of my other stuff. Thanks. Laters.